We have heard about the NM technology now already in the first part with this panel. So I find you about the solution, which is in the same general area.
Yeah, occupate where every day either out. I'm coming from the government in Nanoten, and here developing with our partners some of solution for drinking water, water water, and we prepare here kind of. This is short presentation here doing on the HuProTec on the HuProTec drinking projects. This meditation with the people members, and we add also the minerals. As you see, the system is well new, and it is for every home, for any house and something. So we believe that technology has the power to change the world, and this is one of technology and use it responsibly and easily. And our solution are based on advanced materials, and dispensation systems are one of them. They are effective in removal even the most direct pollutants from the water. So we are on this way. We are building the partnership with the wide organization around the world, and whatever that they're coming from Slovenia. And we know that Slovenia will have tap water good quality, but this around the world is not this case. So I believe that this is a very good solution for the tap water from house, and I think the water will be even more and more can explain even more. We must take care of all the tap water even more and more every day.
Operating with Macedonia, the Dalibor listening. How do you see this development? What is your role in there?
First of all, I'm Zdraveski. I'm coming from Macedonia, and I'm the owner of the company. We are working more than 35 years with the water treatment. I'm dealing with the water of 25 years. I cannot tell that until now. I'm not sure that I know everything about the water. The innovation is needed every day. My debate today will be in two debates, two topics. I never prepare the speeches because I want to speak on the water from the heart, from my soul, because it's very important. First topics that I want to open and to discuss it. This is about the innovation of the water in the water treatment. How to be sure that water that you are drinking from the glass, which you by the tap, is always guaranteed good. Always the water municipality company will tell you that water is perfect, it's protected, it's clean, but you're never sure that it's correct. You know that the pipelines is very big, very long, and they will know when some pipe is broken and you have pollution inside in the pipelines. And you're filling the tap, the water from the tap, you're drinking, you don't know that it's the moment you are drinking some bacteria, some pollutions. For that, I think that the best way to think about some unit who brings out the end of the tap will measure TOC, free chlorine, pH, to be sure that the moment you are filling the glass, you have right water. This is something that must be innovated and must be produced very soon, because the final step, the water point of use, must be good for everyone. The second topic that I want to discuss it and must be thinking about for the innovations is everybody speaking for the desalination, reverse osmosis, nanofiltration. Everybody is speaking for the permeate, the clean water. And how about speaking about the concentration of these products? This pollution, this concentration, will disposal again in the earth, everywhere in the rivers. These pollutions will come back in the water that we must be treated. This is not good. It's only good for the water treatment. They will have more jobs, but it is not good. We must think how to solve these pollutants, how to remove these pollutants to not come back in the world, to not come back in the wells, in the rivers. For that, you must find zero discharge. You must find some systems who will clean these waters because that does on the vet. All the simulations and these technologies that must to continue to grow. That is not possible to stop here. Every day we are challenging day by day the problems with the water, with the comments with the waters from the wells, because every water it's different. The water is say like blood, say like DNA, keeps their own DNA. We must treat every single water especially to find best way. Every human, every people or a person have needs for the water, but not same water. Some people want to drink this kind of water or some other type of water. For that also they need to treat the water special. This is my way for the innovation and technology of the water. Thank you.
Thank you. Your presentation, in fact, relates to an initiative that new buildings would have already installed the water filtration to ensure that whatever comes from the public pipeline is then treated to satisfy the conditions we want in our house. So it's to some extent filtration or cleaning of the pollutants, and on the other extent is also there enriching, because they heard from South Korea. So you ask for that?
Yes. These are two ways.
Your system is actually doing both.
Yes, it's
Okay. What is the precedent? Is this for one,
We cannot tell what is the best.
not the best, the capacity for one house, or is it for a house with 10 flats, or is it
For more.
for one lot? Yeah, so the individual is
Indeed.
right. And you mentioned then that it is important to remove those pollutants from the cycle completely, not just clean them and then bring them back to the how.
This is for the academics people. For the I asked the people, to the scientists, to find the solution.
Yes, but you have question, not this.
But like if somebody to take this and to start to find the solution, how take this, because we are cleaning them out and we have disposal these pollutions. But this pollutant is coming to us again.
It is a valid point, definitely, that we are putting back the pollutants in the environment. Right, so you once again, how do you plan to implement that? What is your idea? How to push this idea to it's mainly aimed at new buildings.
Yes, our plan is to make a standard that, and on this way we are really working hard that everyone, as Dan was saying, knew or know what kind of what quality water he drink.
So this is within the final review as well.
Yes, final similar.
And it's based on the assumption that we cannot be entirely sure what kind of water we're getting through the pipelines. And this really brings us to Nataša Sovič from the Environment Agency. Can you be sure what kind of water I'm getting from the pipeline?
Yes, I think we do. Let me start with Slovenian water quality quantity. Slovenia is considered abundant kitchen water. However, water reserves in Slovenia or even we distributed Alpine regions our water reservoir and also receives a lot much precipitation. That's the eastern part. So most of Slovenia rivers have torrential characteristics. That means that discharges tend to increase and praise or very pretty. And the most water always got at high water levels or during flood. So we have a very interesting situation where our and climate change. So, for example, year 2032 was average dry. Well, so that was the driest year in history of our measurements, and the next year 2023, during the flood, that was the year with most abundance of water. So next, this is our methane water recharge. It's similar in western part of Slovenia has a lot of water, in the eastern part less water. Around 2,000 water permits are issued for public water supplies, and we had also about 20,000 private wells. That means the Slovenia is rich in water, and I dare to say you could drink water anywhere in nature. We have proper disinfection. For example, we boil the water. So regarding chemical status, we had some area that are more polluted. For example, an urban area or area with a high density population. Pharmaceutical compounds are found on groundwater there. Modern pollutants like air and polychlor, alkyl substances. And there are agricultural areas where high levels nitrate pesticides are found.
So we are thinking about fraud.
I don't think we are in territory, but this area, for rooted area, needs our intention. So we must improve our sewage system, our water treatment plants. I think instead of filtering to drinking water, it will be better investment in treatment plants and technology for drinking water at the source that is polluted and caught at the end by consumers.
Right. From Moderator in the second slide, we are not using that much of the groundwater here. Exactly in some way.
Yes, east part we use more groundwater because it's opt out for water distribution, and the resources, water resources, are a little bit dependent on wet conditions. So we must be careful what we're doing there, how much water permits being issued, and public supply, making public supply, because we already seen now.
If we refer back to the first panel and Professor Bofstad, he mentioned that there are 360,000 habitable compounds or combinations which can be traced in. And commenting, are you following?
Yes, we following up to 200 parameters per cento. We have on grounded water, we had 200 measurement points, and on surface water, about 150 here. So about overall, we find about 100 parameters divided. And there are some methods for the identification of organic parameters. So we are doing our best with technology and analytics all proposals.
So, and your proposal is that instead of having the training at the end, we have it at the beginning.
Yes, because in Slovenia we are facing we have still good water from chemical point of view, but as I said, there are some polluted places each with our attention, and we know what to do. I don't see more analysis and more analytics beside that below what building is and must rest.
Considering the leakage in the system, how sure we can be that whatever we put in the pipeline at the beginning comes not more polluted at the end? Other question.
So we know we have some choosing the sewage system, give sewage system, gas board, and
we had recent experience when we cut to CDS. Right. So what if we say that it would be good to treat the sources and still be sure and that have the solutions also at the end? Because we were speaking also only about the clean water, we're also speaking about the functional water in the cases which we heard today from Korea and here.
Yes, we also have water. We heat toilet. In this moment, we use drinking water for sample flushing corridors. We could use another recycled water for that to lower our water consumption like that. So there are many technical ways to improve our behavior.
A lot to do then in both sources and distribution. And I believe that Mr. Wissekerke, you have something to say about the distribution of water in urban areas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hello everybody. I see it's getting a little late. Everybody's getting a little tired, so I'm trying to keep it short as possible. First, I'd like to thank BWF for inviting me here again last year as a candidate for the award, and today to give the whole case what I'm working on a voice. And I'm from the company HuProTec. HuProTec is a company based in Switzerland. We are specialized in bringing solutions and getting drinkable water out of the atmosphere. For a few people, it's still in the beginning of this technology, but it's actually already here. It's already possible to work with that. But maybe I have to say something before I go into this particular part. We at HuProTec truly believe that water is a human right. As Mark said in the beginning, it is like that. But on the other hand, water is a $1 billion market. Okay, so it's always a fight between human rights and making business out of water. So it's kind of an unbalanced situation in that part. Again, water is life. Without water, there is no life. Vegetables, fruit, animals, human beings, we cannot live without water. And the other part is that water is actually always 100% available, but you cannot destroy water. Water is either vapor, liquid, or ice, right? But we started to not taking care of our resources. We have a lot of wasted water. There is no wastewater. There's only wasted water, right? So that comes back to the normal solution, the normal sources that we have. Two of the bases are desalination water and of course groundwater, and exactly those two are getting under pressure even more every day. For instance, desalination water, okay, it was the solution. Everybody does say ABD, drink water, find the solution. So desalination was definitely a part of it immediately. But on the other hand, we have the Arabic Sea that's slowly turning into a Dead Sea because of the brine pouring back into the ocean. And nobody talks about that waste. This desalination water is a waste over there. On the other hand, the groundwater is really under stress. Surface water is going down, groundwater is going down, and some countries, like for instance Indonesia, they already planned to set up a law that is not allowed to get groundwater. So what are they going to do, right? So, and the other thing is, what is the reason for the groundwater and surface water going down? And that's all about climate situation. If we have a climate situation, the climate problem is a major problem. Even in those countries like Slovenia or Holland or whatsoever, where there's a positive water balance, all right? Even there, or even Switzerland, even there is, during the summer, there is shortage of clean fresh water, okay? Taking as an example, in Switzerland, in the spring, the biggest sea that we have was about 7 meters lower as usual. That's huge. And that's the Switzerland. I mean, in the middle of Africa, it's in Switzerland. All right. So that's where we come in place. We are specialized. We're getting the water out of the atmosphere with our machines. All right. Now, that is exactly the point, because I always say, like, it's like a devil's circle. Okay. The water in the atmosphere, because with 1 degree in average, we have about 7% more moisture coming out of the ocean, coming out of the rivers, and going into in the atmosphere. And on the other hand, the atmosphere has a 40 times more capacity of keeping the vapor in the air, according to cold air, right? And another point with too much water in the atmosphere is the greenhouse effect, because the sun's getting into the moisture, blah, blah, blah. So we are actually in a circle that's not so easy to get out of. Okay, so that's why I would say getting water out of the atmosphere is the future. It's not like people think future, because I say taking care of the water problem is about water management. All right, you should take out the gray water. You don't reuse gray water all over again and again and again. The technology is here. I see so many companies who are working on purification of water. There's so many companies, there's so many solutions. We can solve that problem. But if you work on that problem, you need a new source. And the new source is out of the atmosphere, and this is limitless, right? It will be getting more and more. And I will say in the next 10, 15 years, everybody will have a little machine in his house just to get the water direct behind the atmosphere. And our solution that we have machines from 35 liters up per day up to 5,000 liters a day per machine. But HuProTec goes a little step further. We work on total solutions, all right? Our biggest flagship that we have is called the Water Station Alpha. It's a huge facility with over 60 machines inside. And we even have a sustainable energy solutions, or we're not reliable solar or wind power. And we can make up to 300,000 liters a day. That's what we focus on. And yeah, I feel myself a little bit as a pioneer running around like crazy. I'm okay. And they're like, yeah, but I'm scared water. I don't know. But the challenge is energy. That's the first challenge. The next challenge that we're facing is getting more water out of the air when the weather is colder. Like for instance, here and that, we are around 70% humidity at the moment, right? Or we only have 20 degrees. So getting a dew falling that the water starts to condensate is a little bit more difficult. I'll be working on that one too. And but again, it's all about water management, and we don't see water out of the atmosphere as the only solution, but it is comparable to the other solution they get around being up. How do we do?
Right. It's a surprisingly logical solution of the increase of water in the atmosphere. Just take it out. You mentioned certainly in a question of energy. The current machines are running on electricity as well. So your current machines are running on electricity.
On electricity, yeah. So the small machines, like the 35 liter machine, is only 500 watt. So that's totally okay to put in your household if you got split power. It's no problem at all. As soon as you go into the industrial machines, you talk about 6.3 kilowatts up to 58 kilowatts an hour. Okay, so that's the challenge. For the smaller industry, you can work with solar system or with wind energy. It's all comparable. That's doable. But then again, on the biggest solution that we have, the Water Station Alpha weighs about 4 megawatt an hour. And here we have the partner with a German company. Okay, it's not our own system. We partner with them, and they have a solution that works 24/7. The own energy solution works with gravity and upflowing. So we have this kind of movement, and this way you have this kind of movement. You connect it to a generator, then you make power. Okay, so that's where we have a little step in our situation.
Thank you. It's a very compatible presentation with all the rest we heard today. The question of energy and supplying water in Saudi Arabia, the question of individual supply, where then it will not be a question of tourism, but a question of enrichment of the drinking water with the minerals, obviously, before they will get hastily the fuel.
Yeah, but the thing is good. Getting water out of the atmosphere is actually naturally already pure, all right? Because we don't have the pollution in groundwater and whatsoever. Or we go a step further, of course. We filter it with ultrafiltration, and we have very special air filters so that it even gets the microplastic out you're working with. Filters with electricity, so it takes out the microplastics. But that's in the beginning stage now. Okay, that's in the beginning stage, so. And of course, inside the machine, we have carbon filters, and we have ultrafiltration, we have UV lights. And even in the bigger machines, all the industrial machines have mineralization filters inside. And top of the pile again, our flagship, Water Station Alpha, we have our own mineralization solution, because even here, a high mineralized water is not exactly the right water to drink, because normally you get the minerals out of the food, and water should have the job to break those minerals into your body. So if the mineral water is already high mineralized, how can he fulfill the job? So there's other people from my company working on that to get the perfect mineralization as a light water. So that's good for everybody. Of course, people who are exports or stuff like that, the orbitals, but they talk about average. That core is an important condition.
Well, maybe join with either the solution from Slovenia or from Korea, which is already doing all-scale mineralization.
That's why I'm here for.
And it's also better with what we heard from South America about the distributed water supply. This, in fact, is per household over the small communities. I understand.
Yeah, well, I am in my mind, okay. But that's still, in the planning. We should change the way of constructing buildings, right? Again, I said it's all about water management, and you could make closed system on the breakwater. Dishes, water. I'm not talking about landfill, but what is something like but rainwater is actually possible to make closed system. So you're using that water over and over again. That's not a technical monster thing to do. It's already here. So if you have that kind of water management that you reuse the rainwater and you compare that with an atmospheric water machine, your water is not sufficient. You don't need to have water drop from the system. You can't do your whole thing, actually. Of course, you cannot do this in Sweden or something because the environment is not that good for the atmospheric water. But as soon as you have, when the whole of Africa, here, because we are really around in Africa, it's how you come Spain, for instance. Spain is short for ground zero, and that's Europe. That's not Africa. That's Europe. The Spain is without water. So in those kind of environment, this could be a possible scenario.
Thank you very much. We have also Tania Pentcheva joining us online. In large. She would be saying something about the role of industry, which we generally consider to be on the wrong side of clean water.
Thank you so much. So I'm representing Xylem, and Xylem is a global water technology company that produces the technologies for the whole water cycle. So we manufacture technologies for drinking water purification, wastewater treatment, technologies for agricultural irrigation, industrial water use, also for buildings, circulator pumps, and other technologies, also smart meters. We're one of the manufacturers. So we look at water in water technology, one innovation solving the water challenges from a holistic point of view, from the whole water cycle. And looking at the challenges that we have today and the innovation and how we can handle those, managing water quality and quantity is critical for all the challenges that we have ahead with climate change, the pollution we still have. But not only. And I wanted to give you a few examples of how we focus on solving some of the challenges. It's not always about innovative technology, placing innovative technology on the market. Yes, it is very defined the case, but also looking at innovative approaches to solving existing issues. So, for example, we have been quite successful in cases where you have E. coli risk contamination following heavy rainfalls. This is a common risk, and our water infrastructure across Europe is not always well developed or managed to force up trees when there are heavy rainfalls. And for example, what we have put in place in some countries is deployment of rental solutions. So you have ozone or UV rental units that can be placed exactly on, the spot where it needs to be, where pollution will come from E. coli following this heavy rainfall, and you manage pollution at source over there at that particular moment. So it's not an investment also, for all the time. So this is one way to look at challenges. Pesticides, pollutants in water are big. Pesticides, of course, remains an issue. It is an issue, pesticide pollution. For example, in the UK, we have placed an innovative reactor design that we developed ourselves at Xylem. And this one uses ozone and hydrogen peroxide to oxidize difficult organics while reducing bromide formation. Because the bromide formation could be an issue, certainly in some countries more than others, but also in certain pollutants. Micropollutants remains a huge issue in Europe, and these are part of recycled pollutants from pharmaceuticals, from cosmetics, and there we manufacture and place on the market ozone systems, UV, but also advanced oxidation systems that are reaction also with our hydrogen peroxide and ozone to make sure that the bromine formation remains low after cleaning the water from those micropollutants. PFAS remains a challenge. Still, the perfect, can say, technology for cleaning all the types of PFAS from water needs to be developed. But, certainly on the market, there are several that can help collect some of the PFAS to ion exchange resins and at least prevent to a destruction site. So there are a few ones in the pipeline. But a lot more means developed, or we are actively looking at Xylem to avoid PFAS pollution. But also the quantity side is very important to quantities of water to manage. In leakage, we've mentioned many times on the panels. And we also believe this is going to be a big challenge and still remains a big challenge across Europe. We have smart bowl solutions, which is like a small bowl that is digital that you place in the water infrastructure, and it inspects the bowl infrastructure and gives you very accurate data of where exactly the leak is. And so this way you can really manage the leaks and change only the part of infrastructure that is needed and not the whole system, which is very, of course, expensive. And two more areas I want to mention before I finish. Digitalization for Xylem, this is a really big priority in terms of where we should go next. And we have, together with either guys, a Spanish company, a digital platform on which you can manage the pool water in a city or a municipality. Very similar to what exists in the energy sector to balance the energy system of a whole city. We have such a platform, digital platform for water. And what you can manage there, there are many parameters, but you can manage leakages, for example, because you see on all this digital platform where the leakages are over and over the next one. You can manage the energy intake of the water system. So, I'm looking where you can optimize your energy efficiency of certain types of pumps or operations. You can also, if you're producing energy on our wastewater or drinking water stands, renewable energy, it's solar or wind. You can also manage this energy supply and then see how we put it like into a system. You can manage the treatment of water, different dosages of chemicals or whatever system is being used. You can optimize with digital system to see where your vulnerabilities are for floods. So you can optimize your system as well and, make sure you monitor everything and there's a flood coming. So many opportunities with digital. Of course, you need sensors, you need smart meters, so you need some hardware to be installed before you can place such a digital platform. But also to perform digital twins is recommended as well to make sure that you have all the data and then you can manage the system afterwards with all the data that is needed. And finally, greenhouse gas solutions from the water sector is something we're also very vocal about because we would like to seek in the future net zero utilities that actually don't have any greenhouse gas emissions, because the greenhouse gas emissions from the water sector are about 2% in Norway. It's drinking water and wastewater, and that's similar to the irrigation sector. And if we truly want to manage and support and work on the climate change challenge, you also need to look into the greenhouse gas emissions from the water sector. These are main process emissions. So there you have nitrous oxide from the fossil operations of the processes of wastewater and drinking water, and then carbon dioxide that's coming more for the energy side, but this can go, the breeds are gonna go greener, so this will eventually be managed, and then methane from, for example, Paheva's production in behalf of such. So I stop here. There are many options, there are many ways to look at solving water challenges through technologies.
Thank you very much. I hear a lot about the energy in these days. It was not always that case, was it? I mean, when did you start being so thoughtful about the energy part of the water business?
Indeed, and actually it's very positive, but I was very pleased to hear that also with this forum, which is my first time to attend, water energy nexus is mentioned a lot and is becoming on the topic that is being more discussed and boldly addressed. I mean, some years ago, we started to raise this topic of the water energy nexus. On the one side, it was linked to the energy crisis as well, that actually came a few years ago. And there they gave very obvious for many countries that actually, you cannot easily produce energy without water. Nuclear, it's a lot of water. If we produce energy, is very water intensive. Cooling is of course, the water of cooling. But, hydropower, obviously, and so on. So it's a few years ago that we became more vocal, but also I think that the water sector is becoming more conscious this way that, energy optimization, energy efficiency optimizations within our drinking water and for wastewater treatment plant, for replacing the better pumps, for efficient pumps, looking to the aeration systems and so on, would actually save a lot of costs because energy is also a cost to the water utilities. So that's been a few years of a journey would be more vocal about, but I'm glad to hear that is more understood now.
Thank you. So we have something to look forward to, even more focus on this nexus. So I think this brings us to the close of this panel, where we again had the view from the consumer side, from the supplier side, a completely innovative source of water, and this emphasis on the energy and water. Thank you very much, the panelists in this part of the second panel.
Let's see. And as Sam said, we are heading out to lunch now. But before you go out, I just want to share with you that we have prepared something special for you today as a warm-up to our lunch, thanks to our friends at Affinity 8. So we're proud to present Affinity Pamensaya, a delicious oat-fresh drink designed to naturally support digestion and repair your body for meals. Made with organic pineapple, papaya, lemon, ginger, and mint, each ingredient is carefully chosen for its benefits. Balanced in a precise ratio and blended with pure PD8 approved water, Pamensaya preserves all vital nutrients thanks to cold pressing. Please treat yourself to our glass and balance on your way to the restaurant on the ground floor.